Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be reviewing the Type 74C Red Star. This is a currently 8.3 BR rank 5 premium medium/main battle tank in the Japanese Ground Forces tech tree. The pack that it comes in currently costs $49.99 USD when not on sale, and comes with 2,000 golden eagles and 15 days of premium time. With that said, in this video, I'll be going over everything that you need to know about this tank, including its stats, how it plays, I'll give its strengths and weaknesses, I'll give you some scores in several key areas, and then I'll give my final recommendation on if I feel this vehicle is worth purchasing or not. With that said, if you like this kind of video, please consider subscribing, but without further ado, let's get into the review. Now to start, I'll place its stat card here on the side of the screen. Important things to note are its armament, its horsepower, and its vertical guidance angles. Now for how it plays. The Type 74 Red Star is essentially just a Type 74C, but with a Vismod that makes it look different. This Vismod is equipable and does not increase the weight or modify the performance of this vehicle in any way, so the Red Star is basically just a Type 74C that looks a little bit different and is a premium. Now this means that the Red Star packs a heavy punch with its armament, is fairly mobile, and can take a few hits as well, just not too many. With its very good M392A2 APDS shell, it can bend through up to 350mm of armor while traveling 1,478 meters per second out of the barrel. This makes it fantastic for sniping and for general usage. The M456 Heat FS on the other hand can pen through up to 400mm of armor, which allows for it to be great for general use, though a little bit worse for sniping in some cases due to its lower muzzle velocity and propensity to blow up on random objects before it hits the target, as many heat style shells do. Of course, the Heat FS will maintain its armor pen regardless of range, whereas APDS loses penetration value as it continues to travel, so whichever shell you prefer is totally up to you, of course, as they can largely be used interchangeably. You also have a HES shell that can be good for miscellaneous tasks as well. The point is, the armament on the Red Star is both versatile and powerful, allowing for a number of playstyles and choices, which will make many players feel right at home. It also has very good or even great mobility courtesy of its 22.9 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio, though it has a lackluster 53 km/h top speed. Even still, the Red Star will out-accelerate most tanks and can flank with ease, especially due to the fact that it has a stabilizer. Additionally, it features a laser rangefinder, and because of these things, the Red Star can comfortably play the roles of sniper, flanker, frontliner, and even base capping and brawling situationally, though brawling should really only be done if you have the element of surprise, as the armor thickness and reload speed on the Red Star are both just average-ish, which isn't really what you want when brawling. With that said, the armor is decently thick on the front of the vehicle at 132mm on the turret and 80mm on the hull, with angling helping to increase those numbers by quite a bit, but the sides and rear of the tank have minimal armor, as do most tanks. This basically just means that, as stated before, this is not a tank that you can just expose and expect to survive, with such a tactic only being done as a last resort. Additionally, the cannon elevation angles are awful, but the hydropneumatic suspension can help to make up for this by a bit, as that will allow you to raise, lower, and angle your tank chassis. Still, in general use, I would advise to snipe and flank first and foremost with the Red Star, though it can really play under any number of roles fairly decently, as it doesn't really have one thing that it's terrible or even bad at. Now with all that said, let's get into its strengths and weaknesses, and first for its strengths. While none of the ammo types are particularly amazing, they're all pretty great and showcase excellent versatility, with the M392A2 APDS being great for long ranges and general use, the M456 Heat FS being great for heavier tanks and general use as well, and the Type 75 HES being good for light tanks and the occasional shot at a weird angle. Second, it has a hydropneumatic suspension that allows for fine-tuning of chassis height and angle, which allows for greater ability to be hull down. For its third strength, it has a laser rangefinder, which really isn't all too common at this BR. Fourth, it features a top-mounted HMG, which will help to defeat aircraft and lightly armored vehicles. For its fifth strength, the mobility is largely great, with an excellent for its BR 22.9 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio, which leads to great acceleration, though it has an admittedly average-ish top speed. Beyond this, this vehicle features a fully stabilized cannon. Seventh, it features a commander's optics. Eighth, it features 6 smoke grenades. It might not be a ton, but they aren't necessarily guaranteed at this BR, and they do of course help with survivability. And finally, it features premium RP and SL bonuses. Now for its weaknesses. This vehicle has poor elevation angles with a range of just -6 to +9 degrees. Second, while not terrible, the armor isn't particularly good either. It's enough to stop autocannons pretty reliably from the front, but that's pretty much all. You might also get yourself a random ricochet, but it's not going to happen all the time. For its third weakness, reverse speed is fairly low at just 7.4 km/h, hour, while the top forward speed is middling at 53 kilometers per hour. Not terrible, but not really great either. And finally, this vehicle has very large and easy to hit ammo storage, which will result in a lot of one-shot deaths. Now with all that being said, let's get into how I score this vehicle. And first, for armament, I give it a 7.75 out of 10. Relative to BR, the armament on the Red Star is fantastic. It has fast moving and fairly effective APDS, as well as a higher penning heat FS that's great for destroying heavy tanks. This allows for excellent versatility, as both shell types are quite good and can be used interchangeably in many instances. In addition, the laser rangefinder helps to make accurate shots at any range, which is further assisted by the decent but not amazing commander and gunner's optics. You even have a full cannon stabilizer that helps for taking shots while on the move, which is not a given at this BR. Further, the top-mounted HMG helps to defeat light vehicles and aircraft, which is still useful at this BR. Heck, you even have a Hess shell if you want, though I typically leave that out of my lineup. Regardless, the main strength of this armament is its powerful versatility mixed with excellent technology, all of which combines to make the Red Star into a surprisingly powerful vehicle at this BR. Now for mobility, I give it a 6.25 out of 10. While not amazing, the overall mobility on the Red Star is still quite nice. This is due to its excellent 22.9 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio, which allows for quick and immediate acceleration and the ability to traverse most terrain types with ease. This is assisted a bit by the inclusion of a hydropneumatic suspension, which you can adjust to better across either rough or easy terrain. The only real downsides to the mobility are its middling top speed of just 53 kilometers per hour and its mediocre reverse speed of 7.4 kilometers per hour. If the Red Star could move just a little bit faster, it would easily be a 7 out of 10 in this category. Regardless, it can still easily move around any sort of map and will quickly reach its top speed, which is a great ability to have and is better than most similar BR tanks and MBTs. Now for survivability, I give a very average 5 out of 10. Quite simply, the survivability of the Red Star is as average as you can get. While the armor is somewhat thinner than comparable American and Soviet MBTs, at least around this BR, it's still thicker than European MBTs. This allows for autocannon resistance, which actually comes in handy, though the Red Star's armor will still be defeated by most full-size cannon shells with ease. Though this is true of the armor of almost every tank at this BR. If nothing else, the Red Star also features 6 smoke grenades, which are not universal at this BR and help to survive engagements. This is of course somewhat mitigated by large ammo racks inside the tank, which will easily explode if hit by a shell. In all though, this adds to a very average level of survivability for the Red Star. Now overall, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. In all, the Type 74 Red Star is quite effective at this BR, if not also just a little bit boring feeling. It feels a little generic, but powerful generic. It has an excellent armament, great mobility, and average survivability, all while being in one of the less played tech trees in War Thunder. This means that anyone willing to purchase this tank will likely be quite happy with it, though I feel that the amount of people doing that are going to be quite low, as this isn't the US, German, or Russian ground tech tree. Regardless, the Red Star is a fun and powerful tank that can perform pretty much any role that you can want, outside of maybe brawling for the most part. Now with all that said, do I recommend the purchase of the Type 74 Red Star? Sure, why not? There isn't really too much of a weakness on this vehicle, as it has more or less anything that you might want at this BR. It can move quickly enough, survive an average amount of hits, and can destroy pretty much anything that it hits with ease. To me, that's a winning formula, especially for people that snipe or play aggressively. In comparison, the Type 74G is basically just a higher BR version of the Red Star, with an even more powerful armament relative to BR, but also a somewhat lower level of mobility and survivability also relative to BR. Because of this, barring some sale, I kinda like the Red Star a bit more than the Type 74G as a tank, as I feel that it's slightly better at 8.3 BR than the Type 74G is at 9.3 BR, especially considering that the Red Star doesn't see nearly as many up tiers and doesn't have to face some of the most advanced tanks in the game. Conversely, I might say that the Type 16 FPS is a little bit better for aggressive players than the Red Star, but the Red Star and Type 74G are both more complete vehicles, as they have the added benefit of some level of survivability in lieu of the FPS's better speed and higher gen thermals. Getting back on track here though, I really like the Red Star and feel that it's a great tier 5 premium tank that just so happens to be in the Japanese ground tech tree. You really can't go wrong with purchasing the Red Star, though purchasing the higher ranked Type 74G or Type 16 FPS may be better if you're just looking for something to grind through the tech tree with, as those vehicles are a higher rank and thus can grind through more of the Japanese ground tech tree without penalty. Either way, I both recommend the Type 74 Red Star for purchase and give it my Tankenstein seal of approval. This is a very fun and very complete tank that that will be forgiving for most players, which isn't something that you see every day. Also, its Vismod setup looks really cool. Now with that said, thank you all so much for watching. If you don't mind, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel, as they both help me out tremendously. Additionally, let me know what you guys think of the Type 74 Red Star and of this review in the comments below. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.